Hey there. So these videos are kind of turning into how I relax after work sometimes. So anyway, so this morning I saw, I was on this one YouTube channel and then people were just going on and on and on about, Black Christians and how it's making you weak and all this stuff. So I've gotten that out of the way in the last video. And another thing that had been on my mind was, the video where the Bible talks about it refers to women as the weaker vessel. I was on a different YouTube channel. This is quite a while ago. This just stayed on my mind. And it was a man talking about the Bible, having like a Bible study. And I think it was like kind of like a family thing. He probably talked a lot about his relationship with his wife and such. And he quoted that verse talking about the weaker vessel. And then there were women all in the comments who were like really mad. And anyway, that is 1 Peter 3:7. This is the King James Version. Okay, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto your wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers not be hindered. So that's in the King James Version. I'm going to read it also in the Contemporary English Version as well. If you are a husband, you should be thoughtful of your wife. Treat her with honor because she isn't as strong as you are, and she shares with you in the gift of life. Then nothing will stand in the way of your prayers. That's the CEV. I'll read this NIV version. Husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. And in my Bible, like the paper Bible, the physical Bible, I read some of the study notes and it was just talking about how if men mistreat their wives, their prayers will not be as powerful. So I think that can give you a lot to think about. That let me just tell you exactly what that said, because I don't really like paraphrasing things and stuff like that. It says in the study notes, if a man is not considerate and respectful of his wife, his prayers will be hindered, because a living relationship with God depends on right relationships with others. Jesus said that if you have a problem with a fellow believer, you must make it right with that person before coming to worship. Matthew 5:23-24. This principle carries over into family relationships. If men use their position to mistreat their wives, their relationship with God will suffer. That's kind of powerful right there. I don't know, that just like says a lot about women and their position like in the kingdom of Christ, and once again, just the power of women and womanhood. But as far as all these women being mad, now you heard me reading those scriptures in different versions, same scripture, different versions. The thing is basically saying, men respect your wives, men honor your wives. But these women had a problem with that. What is wrong with these girls? Seriously, they were really triggered by that word, weaker vessel. It's just silly to me, frankly, not very smart. When I think of a weaker vessel, like when I think of that verse, I kind of think about like like a super old vase that would be in a museum or something. Just like these centuries old vases that you see like in these art museums, and they're like, from the Han Dynasty in ancient China in 1540, or I don't know, something from ancient Greece or Rome or something. I mean, it's precious. It is priceless. It is delicate. It's put behind glass because everybody doesn't need to be touching it. Like, even if you're well intentioned, they can't just let every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks into the museum touch it, because eventually they'll do damage to it. So I really don't understand why women were so triggered by that, just by the simple statements of referring to women as the weaker vessel. And in the other version, the easy English version, it just said, she's not as strong as you, which is true. You're not. It's pretty rare, for a woman to be like physically stronger in the arms than a man. Like, unless you're like Ronda Rousey or Layla Ali or, one of these girls in the Olympics that can lift weights above her head. It's highly unlikely that you're actually stronger than a man. So, I don't know. I just think a lot of women need to rethink their positions on thing and just kind of things and rearrange their thinking. So anyway, that's what I had to say about that. Thank you for listening to these. Thank you for humoring me. I really appreciate that. You all have a wonderful evening once again.